Now we are going to start with the internal structure of mammalian kidney. So this is a LS, that is a longitudinal section of mammalian kidney, which shows outer cortex and inner part is called as medulla. You can see over here it is written medullary pyramid, that will be coming later on. So outer part is called as a cortex and inner is called as a medulla. Inside the kidney, the ureter is expanded. You can see this is the expanded part, and this is called as a renal pelvis. Now it is further showing the branches, and in this there are two types of the ends of the pelvis, and these are, one is called as a major calyx and further branching is called as minor calyx. So these are the cup-like cavities which are called as a major calyces and minor calyces. Medulla projects into this calyces as a conical process, and they are called as a medullary pyramids, or it is called as a renal pyramid. The tip of the pyramid are called as renal papillae. They are called as renal papillae. Now the cortex which spreads, you can see the cortex which spreads. This is the in-between part of the pyramid, and where it spreads, that part is called as renal columns, or called as these are called as renal columns, or they are called as columns of Bertini. So this is the another name of renal column. It is called as a column of Bertini. You can note down. Now if we see the microscopic structure, you can see over here, this is a very beautiful diagram. You can see how pyramids are visible. Now if we see a microscopic diagram of the structural and functional unit of kidney is a nephron. So nephron consists of two parts. One is called as a Malpighian body, or it is called as a renal capsule. Now this you can see here, it is labeled as, look here, there is a cup shaped structure, and this cup shaped structure is called as a Bowman capsule. This is a Bowman capsule, and inside you can see the network of capillary, and these network of capillaries are called as glomerulus. So these are the new name for you, glomerulus. This is a network of capillary, and this is a Bowman capsule. Together glomerulus and Bowman capsule is called as Malpighian body. Together glomerulus and Bowman capsule is called as Malpighian body. Okay. Now glomerulus along with Bowman's capsule is called as a Malpighian body, and its function is to filter out large solutes from the blood and deliver the small solutes to the renal tubule. Now this is a renal tubule. Look here, this is a Malpighian capsule, and this rest is the renal tubule. You can see over here the diagram of the Malpighian capsule. Malpighian capsule is also called as a renal capsule. You can see here, this is a glomerulus, Bowman's capsule, and the artery which is entering into the Bowman's capsule is called as a afferent arteriole, and which is moving out is called as a efferent arteriole. So glomerulus is a tuft of capillaries which are formed by afferent arteriole. Further branching of the arteriole forms capillary, and the tuft of capillary is called as a Bowman's glomerulus, which is present inside the Bowman's capsule, and the blood which is coming out from the glomerulus, which is carried out by the efferent arteriole. Okay, so here only the difference is between A and E, and glomerulus is a tuft of thin-walled capillaries which are formed by branching of afferent arteriole. Now, what is the afferent arteriole is getting in and efferent arteriole is moving out? Rest, what are the difference? Please note it down. First difference is afferent arteriole diameter is more, and efferent arteriole diameter is comparatively less than the afferent arteriole. Then these are entering. These are the fine branches of the renal artery which enters into the kidney and is coming from the dorsal aorta. Listen to me carefully. Dorsal aorta branching into renal artery further branching into afferent arteriole. Now what is efferent arteriole? These are the fine branches of renal vein which leaves the kidney and joins the inferior vena cava. I am explaining you again. Efferent arterioles joins into renal vein and then they open into inferior vena cava, which is going to the right auricle of the heart. Next, they bring arterial blood to renal corpuscles. Means what? That is, they are bringing the oxygenated blood to the renal corpuscles, and efferent arteriole are carrying the venous blood away from the renal corpuscles. The very important point which I am going to explain you now is what? That afferent arteriole is rich in waste products. We will be filtering these products only through these nephrons, and the efferent arteriole is poor in waste product. That is why it can enters into the heart later on. It is poor in waste product. It means where that waste has gone? That waste has gone into proximal convoluted tubule. That waste has gone into proximal convoluted tubule. So this is very important question. What is the difference between afferent arteriole and efferent arteriole? So you can see over here that glomerulus plus Bowman's capsule is called as a Malpighian body, or it is called as a renal corpuscle. Now coming to the renal tubule, the second part of the nephron, which we have already explained it to be a renal tubule. Now you can see over here that renal tubule has, you can see over here, look here, first is the proximal convoluted tubule. Convoluted means turned, twisted. As it is twisted, so it is called as a proximal convoluted tubule. And as it is near to Bowman's capsule, that is why it is called proximal, means near, and distal means far. And as this convoluted tubule is far from the Bowman's capsule, that is why it is called as a distal convoluted tubule. Okay, so look here. Now this is what? Proximal convoluted tubule continues with the descending limb. Descending means moving down, and ascending means moving up. and that later it joins into distal tubule, and then it forms a collecting duct which opens up into the pelvis region. Now, what is the difference between descending limb and ascending limb? Descending limb is thin. You can see ascending limb is thick. Now here the direction of fluid is flowing to downward. You can see here, later we will be studying. Here the fluid is going downward and here the fluid is going upward. And the very important point is that descending limb is permeable, means it allows, permeable to water. Through this water can come in or can move out. Whereas ascending limb is impermeable to water. Ascending limb is impermeable to water.